Ironheart is almost here. It's premiering tomorrow, June 24th. They're going to drop 3 episodes on Disney Plus, and then they will drop the final 3 episodes on July 1st. And then that will wrap up Phase 5. Like, it's supposed to be the last television series of Phase 5. But Ironheart premiering, which I will be watching and will be reviewing, reminded me that I never posted my thoughts about Agatha All Along. Agatha All Along premiered last September. I didn't watch it until January, and I have my notes. But the thing is, I took notes on every episode, but I never did a wrap up, so I don't have anything like summarizing my feelings about the show. But I checked my rankings of the Marvel TV shows, and it's number 2 after Loki season 2, which means it made an impression on me. I did like Agatha All Along a lot. I think it was a great show. I love that it was about these older witches. It's just not something that you see when it comes to the supernatural. You don't really get to see older women of a certain age, middle-aged women and older play the role unless they're portraying the role of either a has-been, a sage, the sage, person, the know-it-all, or they're in a damn flashback. So that was very refreshing. For anyone who has forgotten or still hasn't gotten to the show, Agatha All Along picks up with Agatha after the events of WandaVision. So the premise is that, this from Wikipedia, 3 years after being trapped under a magical spell in the town of Westview, New Jersey, at the end of WandaVision, Agatha Harkness escapes with the help of a mysterious teenager who wishes to face the trials of the legendary Witches' Road. Without her magical powers, Agatha and the teen form a new coven of witches to face the trials while contending with some of Agatha's old enemies. So I did enjoy all of the witches. I did enjoy their powers. I love the incorporation and interweaving of song with spell work or song singing as spells. My favorite episode is episode 7. It's the one that focuses on Lilia and her trials. Lilia is our seer. She's the one who has the vision. I love, like, on the technical tip, that this episode was told the way that her powers work, which is that it was told out of sequence. I was such a sucker for that device. And I just love the backstory that Lilia got. I love that as the oldest person in the group, she got the most complex, aside from Agatha, like the most complex trial, the most complex solution. She was traumatized as a young witch way back in her original time. She wasn't able to save her townspeople from the plague, whatever malady that came upon them. And so from then on, she went from town to town. Whenever there would be something coming, she would tell people and they would chase her out. And what boggled my mind and what's very impactful is that with the way Lilia's powers work, because they're out of sequence, whatever she saw coming either was going to happen a year from now or 50 years from now, or, you know what I mean, or 20 years from now. And so imagine she gets kicked out for saying something, and then she has to live with the knowledge, the certainty that in 5 years, in 10 years, these people are going to be gone. They're going to fall sick. A huge bit of the population is going to die. That's horrifying. That is hell. I loved the theme of, or the lesson of, her needing to tap into herself. She denied her power after everything that she went through. She denied her power, and by denying her power, she denied herself. And in order to tap into her full potential, she had to reconnect with herself. And I love that from hearing older women on the internet talk about how, like, growing is a never-ending journey. You're always getting to know yourself. You're always reinventing yourself. Having a woman of her age learn that lesson and have to come to grips with who she is, again, it's one of those things that you don't see. It's one of those things that Hollywood pretty much rarely invests in. The actress, Patti LuPone, did a really great job. Now, when I looked up who the actress was, I did that before I started this video. I was like, Patti LuPone. What is that stuff from? Patti LuPone was the one who got in hot water for running her mouth about Audra McDonald and another theater actress. I was gonna say opera singer, but let me not. I never looked into the details of that. I never did. That's not my world. The internet said she was out of pocket. I knew she was out of pocket just for coming out Audra. I left it at that. I didn't look it up to explain it to you in this video. It just is what it is. You can look it up. Patti LuPone, hot water, criticism, all that. But in this episode, in this show, she did do a very good job. Lilia went out brave. She went out strong. She went out smart. She figured out. She broke out of her confusion and figured out and got a handle on how her power works. And she saved her coven. She couldn't save her people. She couldn't save many people, but she saved her coven. I liked Jen's story. I loved her power. She was the potions master. I love that they specifically said she was a root worker, very black American. I love that they paid attention to what her, I guess her heritage and called her the right thing. I remember they said at one point that she was turning tricks for somebody in Boston, some man in Boston. She was hunting witches. I remember that fell a little flat. I remember being a little bit dissatisfied with how her story ended, but I don't remember the details. I just remember when we saw her wrap up, I was like, moving on to the two most important people in this show. Is it Billy? The teen. I lived for that reveal. I loved his entire performance. I love that he's gay, I think, if not gay, queer. Loved his little romance. Loved the body invasion, his parents. I loved everything that he did, including the reveal that spoiler if you haven't seen this, but that it was him all along. So I love the continuation of that. Agatha, they absolutely bodied. I love that this wasn't a redemption story for Agatha. This was an explanation, like a getting to know her better, but not an excuse. It freaking tracks that Agatha's lover, her one true love, would be death. I love it. And I love that during her battle with death, which I enjoyed, she for real was gonna give Billy up. Because she's evil. She is terrible. And then in the end, she has the nerve to show up and is about to be like his guide or whatever. I enjoyed that a lot. Loved her backstory with her son. The fact that like this whole Witch's Road thing was a little ditty that her son came up with, and she like basically made it work for her. Super smart for her to start this rumor and then use it to steal Coven's powers, witches' powers. Loved it. The weakest part of the show was actually the Salem 7. Was that their name? The Salem 7. They are the descendant of the first coven that Agatha killed, and it never went anywhere. They kept coming onto the scene very creepily. I love their creepiness. Love the way they glided / jerked around to get around. But we never, they never did anything. They were never the real threat, and they never actually confronted the coven, Agatha's new coven, in a way that was satisfying to me. So that was like the only weakness. Like, they were just decoration, and I didn't like that. I wish more or something else would have been done with the Salem 7. Like, it seemed that they were after Agatha to seek revenge, but there was never a real fight or real revenge seeking. So that's it. But I love the show. I think it's one of Marvel's best shows that they've put out. And I'm hoping I can say the same about Ironheart starting tomorrow. I did see that there will not be a season 2 of Agatha All Along. That's very sad, but we move on. Can't wait for Ironheart and to see what Riri gets up to.